Hi everyone, this is Joel from MoonlitsHollow, back again for another video. Today I've got a bit more of a structure and I want to cover a few different subjects. They're a little miscellaneous in how they tie in together, but I think they're all important, and one of them not many people would have heard of, so I thought it'd still be a good idea to cover it. So today I want to cover the foundation of energy work, why it's important, why you need one, regardless of what you practice, whether it's a specific magical system, energy work, whether it's spirit work, projection, etc. It's all really important. The other one is lock and key magical systems. What is a lock system? What is a key system? How do they tie in? What are they? And the last thing I want to cover is Spirit Work 101 and the spiritual plane, and sort of describe more about it, sort of dispel any illusions about what it is and what you can find there, and etc. Yeah. Look, a lot of what's going to be covered today is a lot of my personal experiences over a very, very long time, both incarnated and not. So it may come across or come up against religions or different belief systems, which is fine. That's perfectly a-okay. I respect your beliefs. And I'd also ask you to respect mine. And if you don't, that's okay. So let's begin. Everything at its basis is energy. Magic is simply a system that employs energy to serve a purpose. It might accomplish this through harnessing, directing, or redirecting the energy, by acting or through the use of a conduit, whatever it may be. In basis is the movement of energy with intention to achieve a purpose. Many avid magic practitioners seem to lack the essence of energy work, which is the basis, the foundation for the systems that they employ in day-to-day life. Well, let's take the example of a martial artist. Sorry, I'm not great at speaking today. When you're learning martial arts, you can't just hit the ground running, behaving like a professional. Same with any sort of sports or endeavors like that. You need to build up your strength, your flexibility, your endurance, your agility to perform the techniques. You need understanding of the techniques and how to perform them in a safe way in practice and sparring, and obviously in real life situations. You also need to understand, learn the skills. You need to learn the muscle memory. You need to condition your body for the hard hits, condition your knuckles, elbows, shins, knees, anything really. Get used to being hit, etc. It's the same with energy work. We need that foundation to build upon, to draw upon in those critical moments, so that we can become proficient in our practices. Even practitioners that are proficient and on an advanced level in their practices, could definitely benefit from revisiting the basics and the foundations of their practice. I'm still learning. I might be on a more advanced level than most people, but I'm still learning. I'm still discovering things about myself and my soul, and I'm still progressing. I'm still on a journey of personal growth and spiritual development. It's a journey, it never ends. We can always learn, build upon things, and grow in some sort of way. So learning energy work and using it as a foundation for everything, because everything is in fact energy, will greatly help you in your practices, whether it's spirit work, projection, hermetics, Norse runes, conjuring, whatever it may be. No matter what system you use, invoking, summoning, rituals, everything. If you can think of it like this, energy is the foundation. Rituals, no matter what, is sort of up here. It's built upon the foundations. It's the building on top of the foundations. If you can understand how on an energetic level you're performing the ritual or the summoning, how you're pulling on this entity or this spirit, and you're pulling them towards you, trying to bring them here to a physical plane, to have a physical presence. If you can understand the connections of the energy used, where you're pulling them from, all the very minute details, to have a thorough understanding of the subject, your skill will improve massively. For instance, with my spirit conjuring, I don't conjure spirits. What I do is I have a lot of connections, and I exist on a lot of different realms and worlds and have basis there and have influence there. And I put out a bulletin basically saying, hey, is anyone interested in being bound to someone incarnated for the purposes of growth, making new friendships, building new relationships and connections? I might get a yes. Okay, great. I then put them through a sophisticated vetting procedure where we get to know every little bit about them that's relevant. Do they have negative intentions? What's their history? Do they have a negative history with this sort of race of spirits or humans even? So we look at all these different little aspects of who they are, what they do, what their experiences are, and vet them. Say, sort of anything arises, I can say to the customer or the individual, hey, this person feels very strongly about nature, and they won't react very nicely if they were to see someone littering or being abusive towards nature or towards animals. Beyond the sense of we take what we need, we don't take any more. There's no waste. We don't slaughter animals for the fun of it. Some spirits and people feel very strongly about those subjects. It may not be a negative thing, but if I were to pair them with a hunter or someone that kills for sport, that relationship won't work at all, and it could become a very negative situation for both people, both the spirit and the incarnated person. So, because I understand on an energetic level, and I have these connections and these abilities in spirit work, I can easily conjure spirits that will suit a person. I can look at a person's energies. I can, in a sense, look through a person's memories and a lot of their bits and pieces and find the perfect match, because I have a very deep understanding of energy work at its basis. I understand energy in essence and how to manipulate it, how to read it, how to work with it. It's not just this understanding and practice has developed over millenniums, centuries, thousands of years, long, long time. But there's plenty of people like me that can do the same thing. They can read energy, they can read essence, they can be proficient in their practices at a very high level. They have the foundation, built so much so that they can build a world on top of that foundation, rather than just an individual house or whatever. It's important to build the foundation, to understand the energy and the essence, to understand the connections and the minute details so that you can manipulate it to a very high degree and a very advanced level. And then you can apply that to all of your practices, all of your magical systems, etc. Alright. So let's move on to systems of magic. This is a miscellaneous piece of information. It's not really critical to anyone's understanding. I thought it was something of interest, and it might help you expand your perspective and your understanding of different things. So, systems of magic can be categorized into two things, or two categories: lock and key. So a key system is a system of magic, and when I say system of magic, I'm talking a specific path or craft or way or whatever, like hermetics, like Norse runes, like conjuration, invoking, ceremonial magic, Goetia, Gnostic works, whatever. A specific system of magic that works on a specific level is defined as almost separate to other systems based on what you're doing. So a key system is a system of magic that grants you a specific understanding or set of understandings and perspectives that can be used to unlock a lock system. A lock system is a system of magic that requires a specific understanding or a set of understandings and perspectives to work or to function efficiently. Easiest example of this is Norse runes. So with rune work and such, you need an understanding of the runes, what runes pertain to what energies, what meanings they have associated with them, how you can use a combination of runes to set up a protective measure or a spell or a curse or a, whatever it may be. And also to read the runes and to, connect to the energies behind them, the wells of energy, and make use of it in practice. You could hypothetically take a random rune, not know what you're doing, and work with it anyway. But you won't be able to work with it in the same capacity as someone that knows what the runes are, knows where they come from, the why, the what, the when, the where, and understands how to work them in an intelligent and efficient way. There are some systems of magic that can be both lock and key at the same time. If you work with void and void magic, you might know this to be true of that situation. Working with void is both lock and key. It's both something that requires a specific understanding, but in working with it grants you a unique perspective and understanding of the universe and the workings inherent. It can also be viewed as a key without a lock. It grants you specific understandings and perspectives and unique workings, but there's no lock system to apply it to. It's just, there's no... Void doesn't, the key itself doesn't match any of the locks out there, but it just gives you something, So, Hermetics, for instance, I dabbled in Hermetics a long time ago, in the beginning of my path, for a short period of time. I was very interested in the Emerald Tablets and reading over them and the sort of, for lack of a better word, stories or the information contained within. Hermetics and the system of magic there is a lock system. You need to understand the situation, the workings, how to use them, how to use the elements, and how to the sort of alchemy behind and between all the different little connections, like a spider's web. You need to understand all those different little links in order to use the system effectively. Therefore, it's a lock system. You might be able to argue, hey, it could also be a key system because by developing those understandings, I can then apply them to this situation or these rules and laws in the universe. Which is, fair point. This is all subjective, I suppose. I would still class as a lock system. It's very understanding based, but that's absolutely a great point. This piece of information doesn't pertain to anything necessary, but makes you think about things. By learning this craft, this pathway system, is it a lock or a key system? And in categorizing it into either of lock and key, it might then help you think, well, if it's a lock system, in order to better myself and get better at this craft, I need to learn the understandings. I need to learn the essence of the craft so I can understand and work with it properly. If it's a key system, okay, well, in that case, I need to open myself up to be able to learn these new perspectives, these new understandings, open my mind so that I can work with the system a lot better. It's a good way to think of it. The last thing today I wanted to explore is the spiritual plane. Regardless of the word that you use to describe it, etheric, astral, planar, etc., it all pertains to the spiritual plane. Our natural state of existence is to be within this plane. When we incarnate into Earth or another physical plane, or a completely alien plane to the physical, there's lots of different planes of existence. It's a stepping stone. It's a life of the countless lives that we can have. It's to be in the spiritual plane is where we're meant to exist as souls. It's our choice, generally, to incarnate elsewhere, to go to different realms, worlds, whatever. We don't always get a choice, but that's a topic for a different day. The spiritual plane is not as simple as heaven or hell. It's made of countless realms, worlds, possibilities, planes of existence. It's a plane full of different races of souls, beings, spirits. It has these different realms, have their own civilizations, their own rules, their laws, economies, militaries, technologies. There's portals to and fro, carrying you across different locations, to different realms, to different parts of the spiritual plane. within the universe. You know, you can visit heaven and hell in the spiritual plane. They're places. They're not places of everlasting peace or damnation. They're their own civilizations, their own structures, their own hierarchies, societies, basically. Different realms, different races can be there. There's lots of visitors and people that pass through that aren't native to that realm, that are there for out of curiosity, to do trades, to find someone specific, it's like when you visit a different country, all of those reasons. All the deities that have been listed in mythology and or legend have existed. There are a lot of deities that don't pertain to Earth, have never influenced Earth or been relevant to Earth, and they won't be mentioned in Earth mythologies, legend, lore, etc. All of these realms and deities have their own realms and worlds. The Norse gods have their own realms, Egyptian gods their own, as both a pantheon and as separate deities. Greek, Sumerian, Inuit, all of them, basically. They have their own realms, their own worlds. The Christian deity has heaven, hell. I wouldn't class Lucifer as a deity, but he's still, a very prominent figure and a very powerful person. Has his own world. Think of the spiritual plane as the plane where we're meant to be. To incarnate is a stepping stone. It's a life. It's a journey. It's a place to explore, to grow, to be different, and to live a different life. One of the many lives out of the whole that we are. It's a place of countless possibilities. There's lots of great, fantastical, amazing things there. There's also a lot of tragedy, death, torture. There's a lot of awful things that have happened there. A lot of wars, a lot of different conflicts between different parties, everything. It's a very crazy, chaotic place, depending on where you go, of course. Moving on to the topic of spirits. A lot of people refer to souls as spirits in spirit companionship, in Conjuring, etc. The spiritual plane is filled with souls and beings. There are some beings that exist without souls, that lack that integral essence that makes them a soul. They're just sort of a husk, so to speak. We'll talk about that some more at a different time. Souls can be referred to as spirits in relation to us. We're currently incarnated on Earth, which is a physical plane. We incarnate into a different body, and it becomes a vessel for our soul. We're contained within this physical body. That's a physical plane. So the souls that are out there in the spiritual plane are spirits to us because they don't have a physical presence. They're not incarnated on Earth right now. They might have incarnations elsewhere on a different plane. But for the most part, they're sort of just contained within the spiritual plane itself. So they're not deceased spirits. Souls, in a sense, are living. There are different kinds of souls. They may not be alive, but they're living. They're able to act in the current moment. That's how we're going to use living in this situation. They're not deceased souls. Souls, admittedly, can get stuck on Earth due to trauma or to certain deaths or even just passing through. When someone dies on a physical plane, they can be so attached to that physical vessel, to that person that they were, that they become stuck on Earth. And they forget who they were, countless of lives they've had, or the many lives they've had previously. That's when we might refer to them as a deceased person or a specific spirit. But I'm sure that their lives are greater than that. You might think of their soul as a linear thread, okay? And let's say a piece of rope, and every linear piece of rope has got little knots in it along the way. Every knot is a life, and we're made up of countless lives that contribute to that rope, to our soul. we might get stuck in one of those aspects along the way. We might lock away or seal certain aspects of the soul. But they're all relevant to us. We can just get stuck in that moment, in that specific life, which is very easy to do. There's lots of things that can happen, traumas to experience. It may not always be a negative situation. You might just feel really connected right now to that little nodule, with that, part of you. And so that's who you are right now. But we can get stuck in that. And that's where to see spirits of relatives, etc., can get stuck on Earth, or even just tied to a location or to, places like this. Earth is also, there are a lot of spirits that are native to Earth. So the spiritual plane borders and covers Earth as well. So there is a spirit world on top of Earth. Some spirits are native to Earth. They were born here, they've existed here for millennium. And so Earth is their home, whether it's incarnated or a spirit in the spirit world on top of Earth. But there are plenty of spirits that are not native to Earth. A lot of the deities that came here are not native to Earth. They've existed long before Earth even was around, or a great vacation spot as it stands. There are a lot of people incarnated on Earth currently that are not native to Earth, come from elsewhere, but it's in this current lifetime, or this, within the last few centuries, more so this century, it's a gathering of people from all across the universe, all across the spiritual plane, all coming together for whatever you might speculate at. So I went on a bit of a ramble, but I hope that the information in this video is interesting to people. You may not agree with it, but let's be open-minded. Let's think about the possibilities. Let's see it from a different person's perspective and use it to grow. A lot of the information and personal experiences I have are similar to others and also not. A lot of it, is far beyond the realm of other people's experiences and beliefs, and that's okay. It's differences that can promote and prompt opportunities of growth. I might not agree with you, but I can look at things from your perspective, turn it into a healthy discussion or conversation, and open myself up to something else. And that's what I want to emphasize on, or place emphasis on, for this community. To be open to the ideas, the paths, the ways, the everything of others. No one shoe size fits all. If you want to walk that path because you feel it's right for you, that's good, that's a great thing. But your path will not work for everyone. We all walk our own paths. We all walk the ways in which we feel is right to us. My path is very different and very out there compared to a lot of people, and that's okay. So we're going to end the video there. I want to keep it fairly short. It's gone on for quite a while. I would love it if you had any questions. Please post them in the comments down below. So I do run a Discord server, but I want to really start work on building up this YouTube channel. So please post your questions down below rather than in message, and I'll answer them in the Q&A video. Really go for it. If you have any questions about any of the content covered, leave a question or share your own personal experience. Tell me what have been some of your experiences on the spiritual plane with spirits or with magical systems or hermetics or Norse runes or whatever you would like to share. Great. Have a good day, guys. Bye.